Today we will continue with the English literature chapter, The Kite Maker. We are on page number 15, and yesterday we have studied about the dragon kite which Mahmud had made for the Nawab, and then how it pulled fiercely, and it it break it broke free, and then we also had a look at how after that kite Mahmud did not make a kite like that, but he gifted Nawab a musical kite, one which made a sound like a violin when it rose in the air. And so Mahmud, like when we also studied that Mahmud, when he was young, he was known by all people, and even during that time, even kite makers like poets and artists, they also had their patrons. But now no one knew Mahmud, and because now people do not have much time, there was so much population, there were so many people in the gully, and they were not bothered with their neighbors. But when Mahmud was younger, he remembers the time that when he was younger and he had fallen sick, so people, everyone in the neighborhood, they used to come to him to ask about his health. And but now, when his days are coming to an end, when he is about to die, he is old, is about to die, but now no one visited him. And one of the reason was that most of his friends were dead, and his sons, they had also grown up. One was working in a local garage, and the other, he had been in Pakistan at the time of partition, and he was not able to come and join them. Okay, so we have done till here. We'll continue from the children who
Ma'am,
brought. Is Shagun there?
ma'am, can I read?
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
can I
Yes,
read?
Shagun, start.
The children who had brought kites from him 10 years ago were now grown men struggling for a living. They did not have time for the old man and his memories. They had grown up in a swiftly changing and competitive world, and they looked at the old kite maker and the
Banyan.
excuse me, banyan tree with the same indifference.
Okay, wait. So, the children who bought kites from Mahmud 10 years ago, now they were all grown up, and they were trying to make a living for themselves. So they were struggling to earn money for their families, and now they did not have time for the old man and the memories of the time when they were young. So now those children who had bought kites from them, now they are grown up, they don't have time for the old man. And these children, they had grown up in a very fast changing world. Earlier, the pace was slow, and people knew everyone, and they had so much time for each other also. But now he's saying that the world is moving and changing so swiftly, so quickly, and the world is competitive, means people, they want to achieve so much, and they want to, like, defeat others and be first in the race. And so now these children, now those children are grown up men, and they looked at the old kite maker and this banyan tree with the same in indifference, means with the same lack of interest, like they were not interested, and not concerned about the old kite maker or the banyan tree. Yes, continue, Mahira.
Yes, ma'am. Both were taken for granted ferment that were no of to,
No
to the
concern.
concern to the
Raucous.
that was sweating mass of humanity that surround them. No longer did the people gather under the banyan tree to discuss their problem and their plans. Only in the summer months did a few seek shelter for the fierce sun.
Fierce sun. Okay.
Fierce
So
sun.
now both means the old man, means the old kite maker Mahmud,
Ma'am,
and
your voice is not clear.
yes, what about the rest? Can you
Ma'am,
speak?
it's clear. Ma'am,
Okay.
it's
Ma'am,
clear.
it's fully clear.
Then beta, must be some problem at your end. because here at my place the network is perfect. It is quite good at this time, so might be some problem at your end. So both here we are talking about Mahmud the old kite maker and the banyan tree. So now both Mahmud and the banyan tree, they were taken for granted, means no one was concerned about them, and they were like permanent fixtures. They had been there, but no one showed any concern to them, to the and they were of no concern to the raucous sweating mass of humanity, means Mahmud and the banyan tree, they were surrounded by which kind of people? Raucous means people now they have become very harsh and loud, not full of sympathy and kindness and feelings for one another. But now Mahmud and the banyan tree, they are surrounded by people who are hard and harsh and who are loud, and they are always in a hurry. Sweating means they are working so much to achieve in this competitive world. So they are surrounded, Mahmud and the old tree are surrounded by such kind of people, and this kind of people, they do not have any concern for either Mahmud or the banyan tree. And no longer did people gather. Earlier what happened, people, they used to gather under the banyan tree, and they used to sit under the banyan tree and discuss their problems and plans, what they plan to do in their lives, means they also had a leisurely hour under the banyan tree. But now only in the summer months, some people, they seek shelter, means when the sun is very harsh and they are not able, they are looking for a shade. So some people, they come and sit under the shade of the banyan tree. That's all. Yes, continue. Prakhyat.
Ma'am, I forgot the line.
Page 16, the third paragraph.
Okay, ma'am.
But there was the boy.
But there was a but there was the boy, his grandson. It was good that Mahmud's son walked close by, for it gladdened the old man's heart to watch the small boy at play in the winter sunshine, growing under his eyes like a young and well nourished sapling putting forth new leaves. Each day there is a great affinity between trees and men.
Okay.
We grow.
Okay, wait. And now he's thinking about his grandson, and he is happy that his son, means the old kite maker, he is happy that his son, he worked nearby, because his son was working nearby. So this old man, he was able to meet and see his grandson growing up, playing in the winter sunshine and growing under his very eyes, means he could see his grandson growing up like a young and well nourished sapling. Means if see a small plant, a small sapling, and one which gets all nourishment, and so it is healthy and well nourished, so and it gets new leaves each day. So he is also seeing his grandson growing each day, learning new things and growing. And then he says that there is a great affinity between trees and men. And then why he is comparing his grandson to a young sapling? Because then he says, because there is a great similarity between trees and men, that is why he is making a comparison with a young sapling. Okay, yes, continue. Yes, Karthik.
We grow, ma'am, we grow at much the same pace. If we are not hurt or starved or cut down in our youth, we are resplendent creatures, and in our declining years, we stoop a little. We remember, we stretch our brittle limbs in the sun, and then with a sigh, we shed our last leaves.
Okay, so he is showing the comparison between men and trees. So he's saying that we both, means the men and the trees, they grow at the same pace. And if we are not hurt or starved or cut down, means if people or trees, they are not hurt and they are not given proper, and they are means given proper nourishment, they are not starved or they are not cut down, then people and the trees, they grow at the same pace. And then he's saying that in our youth we are resplendent creatures. Resplendent, see the meaning resplendent? Like when we are young, we are so bright and we look so nice and young and beautiful and so impressive. So he says that the trees as well as humans, when they are young, they look so bright and impressive and so beautiful. But in our declining years, means when we age, when we become old, so we stoop a little, means you bend a little. You must have seen old people, all right? When they are walking, they bend a little and they walk. So he's saying that in our declining years, means both trees and men, when they are aged, then they stoop a little. And then we stretch our brittle limbs in the sun, and then with a sigh we shed our last leaves. Brittle limbs, you must have seen the old men, they have many times pain in their limbs, in their legs, and they are not able to move it so much. So that is why he's saying that we stretch our brittle limbs, means they are hard, but they could break easily. And like it is said that for the old people also, that if they break a bone or they get fracture in old age, then it is very difficult to heal that. It takes a lot of time to heal, and many times it does not even heal properly. And so that is what he's saying, that like both trees and men, when they age, then they stoop, they bend a little, and they sit in the sun, like they are in the sun, and they stretch their brittle limbs, which could break very easily. And then, means with a sigh, with a sadness, we shed our last leaves and our days are over. Yes, who will read now? Karthik, I told you to.
Mom, can I read Karthik?
Okay, Asham after this.
Mahmood was like the banyan, his hands gnarled
Nal.
and twisted like the roots of the
Wait,
ancient
stop.
tree.
Karthik, beta, it is banyan and it is G
Yes, ma'am.
silent. It is nald. We don't pronounce the G here. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
continue.
Ali was like the Ali was like the young mimosa planted at the end of the courtyard. In 2 years, both he and the tree would acquire the strength and confidence of their early youth.
Okay, wait.
The voice,
So, wait.
the
Let
voice.
me explain this, then you can continue. Now Mahmood, he was like the banyan tree. His hands gnarled and twisted like the roots of the ancient tree. If you have seen a banyan tree, many times you see the roots falling from up. Not only they are down in the soil, but they have hanging roots also. Very old banyan trees. And so Mahmood, he was like banyan trees, and his hands were all gnarled. See the meaning? They are rough and twisted. When with age they become like this, and so his hands are like that. They have become rough, and you could see the veins in his hands also, just like the entwining roots of the ancient banyan tree. And so they are twisted like the roots of the banyan tree, old ancient banyan tree. And Ali, he was like a young plant, a young mimosa plant, which was planted at the end of their courtyard. And he's saying that in 2 years time, both the mimosa plant as well as Ali, they will get the strength and confidence of youth. Means the young boy Ali, he will step into his youth in 2 years time, and in 2 years time the young mimosa plant will also become a young plant. Yes, continue.
The voices in the street grew fainter, and Mahmood wondered if he was going to fall asleep and dream, as he so often did, of a kite so beautiful and powerful that it would resemble the great white bird of the Hindus, Garuda, God Vishnu's famous steed. He would like to make a wonderful new kite for little Ali. He had nothing else to live. He heard Ali's voice in the distance.
Okay, wait. So, means he is
In
in
the
his daydream, and the voices which were coming from the street, now they were faint, they were very soft, and Mahmood, he thought that if he was going to sleep again, he was going to fall asleep again, and then will he dream again. And very often the same thing happened, and he used to dream of a beautiful and powerful kite, and a kite which was so beautiful and so powerful that it looked like, it resembled, or it looked like the great white bird of the Hindus, which is the Garuda. And this bird is God Vishnu's famous steed. Means it is said that he move on this on this bird. And then he says that he is thinking, he is in his daydream, and he is not sure whether he's falling asleep or what is happening. He thinks he is like, he would like to make a wonderful new kite for little Ali. And even in his daydream he is thinking that he still wanted to make a new kite for his grandson. And because he was poor, so he did not have anything to leave for the boy, he did not have anything to leave for the boy. So he thinks that maybe he will make a new kite for Ali. Yes, Asham.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, beta.
Ma'am, Anjali, let's complete.
He heard Ali's voice in the distance but did not realize that the boy was calling him. The voice seemed to come from very far away.
Hmm.
Ali was at the courtyard door asking if his mother had as yet returned from the bazaar. When Mahmud did not answer, the boy came forward repeating his question. The sunlight was slanting across the old man's head, and a small white butterfly rested on his flowing beard.
Okay, wait.
Mahmud
Okay,
was
okay.
silent.
Stop it. So, he is in his daydream. He is not sure that he's about to fall asleep or not. And he hears Ali's voice, his grandson's voice in the distance. But so he hears his voice, but he is not able to make out that whether Ali is calling him. And it seemed to him that the voice was coming from very far. So he was, though he could make out that it was Ali's voice, but he was not able to make out that what he was saying. But Ali at this time, he was at the door of the courtyard, and he was in the back courtyard also only, but still he was not able to hear properly. And Ali was at the courtyard door, and he was asking his grandfather if his mother had returned from the bazaar. But Mahmud, he did not answer. So the boy, he came forward to him, and he repeated his question, that has his mother come back from the bazaar. And the sunlight, it was slanting across the old man's head, and the sunlight, it was on his head. And a small white butterfly rested on his, and he had a white beard, and a small white butterfly was on his beard. Yes, Anjanya, what is your name? How do you pronounce it?
Anjali,
Anjane. Okay, beta. Read. Mahmud was silent.
uh, Mahmud was silent, and when Ali put his small blonde hand on the old man's shoulder, he met his own response. The boy heard a faint sound like the rubbing of marbles in the pocket. Suddenly, afraid, Ali turned and moved to the door, and then run down the street shouting for his mother. The butterfly left the old man's beard and flew to the ma'am. What is the
Mimosa.
meaning of mimosa? Mimosa, ma'am. What is the meaning of mimosa?
It is a it is a tree, it is a plant, yes. Name of a tree.
Mimosa tree at a sudden gust of wind heard the torn kite and lifted it in the air, carrying it far away, carrying it far blind blue sky.
Okay, and so he did not Ali, he did not get any answer from his grandfather, so he moved towards him and he saw that sunlight was falling on his face and a small white butterfly was sitting on his beard. And Mahmood, he was silent, he did not say anything. And when Ali, he put his small brown hand, so he put his hand on the old man's shoulder, but still there was no response from him. And then the boy, he heard a faint sound, he heard a very soft sound, and this sound was like, when you have some marbles in your pocket and they rub against each other, so the sound that is made, made by those rubbing of marbles, so he heard a sound somewhat like that. And suddenly, Ali was afraid, he did not know what happened, and his grandfather is not giving any response, so he was still a young boy, so he got afraid and he turned and moved to the door. And then he ran down the street, he was shouting for his mother. He wanted to tell his mother what happened. And the butterfly, the one that was sitting on the old man's white beard, it left the old man's beard and it flew to the mimosa tree, and it went to sit on the mimosa tree. And then a sudden gust of wind, a sudden huge gust of wind came, means a very forceful wind came, and it caught the torn kite. Ali's kite, in the beginning of the chapter we have seen that his kite got stuck in the banyan tree, so now it was all torn. So a sudden gust of wind, it caught that torn kite from the tree and it lifted it in the air, and it carried it above the city, which was struggling, hurrying and struggling to make ends meet, and to fulfill the ambition. So it carried the kite above the struggling city into the blind blue sky. So that was the chapter. Have you all understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So did you like the chapter? Like the story?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.